Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on News West 9. I'm Sydney Jolivet. The May 3rd election is coming up, and so if you didn't get a chance to vote for early voting, get ready for this Saturday. One of the items that will be on the ballot for voters in Midland is the $450 million bond for Midland College. And joining me now is Kelsey Razier, who is the chair for the Midland College Political Action Committee. Kelsey, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so we're going to jump right in. One of the things that people want to know is exactly what is this bond? What is it going to do for me? And so can you kind of just give us that general overview?
Sure. So this is a community bond. Whether you've gone to Midland College or your kids have gone to Midland College or not, it is a community bond because it affects our workforce. And if you do anything in the Permian Basin, whether it's HVAC, you need a plumber, you need to take your car to be serviced, any of the things that we need just as consumers, you can be affected by this bond. It is a $450 million bond proposal, and it's broken down into 4 components. First, and the most significant, is the Applied Technology Complex at $277.5 million. That will house the majority of our career and technical education, or CTE. You've probably heard that.
Right.
That will house the majority of the CTE. Next is just general campus renewal. Our campus is old, about 50 years old. So $119.5 million will go towards general campus renewal, and that does include renovation of our dorms.
Okay.
Next, at $43 million is expanding and improving our health sciences facility. And then the remaining $10 million is safety and security of our campus, just upgrading some of the things that unfortunately we need at a community college campus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that was my next question, kind of just giving that breakdown as well. And so who would you say were kind of the creative minds that helped make this bond and kind of decide this is going on here, we're going to leave this part out? Who was a part of that process?
Yeah, I love the opportunity to answer this question because it's one of my favorite parts of this bond. We say it's a community bond, yes, because it's going to impact the entire community, but the community was also involved in its development, which was really exciting. There was a bond exploratory committee made up of about 75 different community members. There were 3 pretty intense meetings, 2 to 3 hours apiece. Midland College had obviously done their fair share of research on what needed to happen on the campus. They brought it to the community, we discussed it, we crunched numbers, we crunched numbers, and then ultimately we voted. And believe it or not, the bond proposal started out a lot bigger and included things that, frankly, that exploratory committee thought, no, absolutely not. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for athletic complex, for example. That was trimmed from the proposal. So we really are referring to this bond as a no-frills bond. It's what our campus needs and it's what our community needs.
And so one of the things that you feel, or the bond is feeling that the campus needs, is that safety and security aspect. So can you kind of touch on why that was a vital part to include in the bond?
Yeah, unfortunately college campuses are more dangerous than ever. I hate to say that, but it's the reality of the situation. So we want to work to ensure that our campus is as safe and secure as possible for our students and staff. Not just students and staff, though. There are a lot of our community members that enjoy the campus. I'm one of them. I was actually running on the Midland College campus this morning. It's dark. And, something as simple as just overhead lighting along the perimeter of the college, but also in the parking lots and in some of the common areas, something like that goes a long way as far as making people feel safe on campus. Of course, the majority of the money is going to go towards security systems. However, lighting is an important piece of that too. Call boxes, if there were an emergency, someone needs to call. We'll make sure and have those on campus, be upgrading a lot of our safety features, and then of course signage too. It's funny, if you've been to the Midland College campus, it is a little confusing, so we want to improve. A little bit. It's kind of like just a mall.
I'm just driving in circles.
Yeah, just a big circle.
Right.
So we want to improve some of our signage as well, just to make it a more efficient campus to be
Right.
able to see exactly where you're going.
Right. And so our dorms, are they included in this bond as well? That's
Yes,
something that I know a
ma'am.
lot of people were asking
Yes,
about.
of course, yes. Dorm renovation is included in that $119.5 million campus renewal. One of our dorm complexes is actually under construction as we speak. I believe it's supposed to be done in August.
Okay.
So that one will be done, but we do have 2 additional dorms that need quite a bit of love.
Yeah.
I went to Midland College in 2010, and they needed some love then. So
Yeah.
you can imagine 15 years later,
Right.
they're pretty desperately in need of some renovation. So we're excited to be able to redo our dorms for our students who live in them.
Right. And so now people are wondering, you're asking for all this money, but who's going to pay for it? So who will this directly be impacting, the $450 million? And especially for the older population, 65 and older, will they be exempt? Will they be paying as well?
Yes, absolutely. So property owners, that's who it's going to affect. Anyone who pays property taxes will be paying towards this bond. As far as people who are 65 and older, there is an $8,000 tax exemption they can take advantage of. There has been some talk about us saying that taxes will be frozen for 65 and older. That is not true. There is an $8,000 exemption that we would encourage them to take advantage of. However, it's not frozen for 65 and up.
Got you. And so looking at some of the people who are kind of, this bond doesn't affect me. I don't have kids that go to Midland College. I don't go to Midland College. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Why am I paying for it? How would you kind of speak to that person?
Yeah, so obviously I've had my fair share of confrontation in regards to that, and I understand. I would encourage those people to think outside of themselves, think for the community, but also think about the next time you go and have your car serviced, or the next time you have a plumbing emergency, right? I mean, we want to make this bond all about oil and gas, and it's just not the truth. Well, of course, oil and gas is a huge part of it, and we're obviously not discrediting the industry that fuels us all.
Right.
We're talking about healthcare, and we're talking about skilled trades. I can't say I've ever planned to go to the hospital, but I've ended up there a couple of times, and I've been really thankful for the care that I've gotten whenever I'm there. So if you're a community member and you take advantage of the services and the offerings that this community has, you will be affected by this bond, because this bond is meant to fuel the workforce that then goes back into our community.
And so then looking at the group of people that might say, it's just too much money and I don't feel like I should be contributing to that big number, how would you kind of answer that question?
Yeah, I've had that too, believe it or not. You know, something I've said throughout this whole time is, in the absence of value, price is the determining factor. If you're not going to take the time to understand the value, then all you're going to see is the price. So I would encourage those people to understand the value. For an average of $13 a month based on the average sales price of a home, average tax assessed value of a home, in my opinion, it's a small price to pay for the community benefit that you're going to get. Not only that, but the economic growth that we're set to experience. Over 10 years, $2.4 billion is going to be poured back into our economy. $331 million back to taxing entities. So even if you don't benefit from Midland College, maybe you don't ever use a service or industry in this community, everyone's going to benefit from economic growth. It makes everyone's lives better.
And so that was one of the other things that I wanted to hit on. Not only is this kind of, will it help the community right here and right now, but also in the longevity of things and benefiting the community, it'll be sowing back into the people that sowed into the project.
Absolutely. Yeah, and honestly, Sydney, it's one of the reasons I'm sitting here with you today. Midland College turned me into an extremely successful professional in my community, but not just in my job. It made me love this community, and I have a desire to give back to Midland College because of what it gave to me.
Absolutely.
This bond has the potential to do incredible things, and I spend so much time talking about the jobs and the workforce and the economic growth, but imagine the opportunities that some of these people are going to have. I guarantee you there are going to be people coming from other areas in the Permian Basin that want to come to Midland College because of the facilities and the programs that we offer. So it's an exciting opportunity that we have, not just to help our economy, but to change lives.
Absolutely. And so I just wanted to backtrack a little bit for the average homeowner. How much will they be paying in the long run? Because we've had a lot of, it's going to be like $50 a month, or it's only going to be $10 a month.
Yeah.
So if you're able to just shine a little light on that detail.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again, because there is a lot of misinformation out there. Fast, simple math, $50 per year per $100,000 tax assessed value. So for example, if your home is tax assessed, meaning its value in MCAD, the Midland County Appraisal District, if it's assessed at $300,000, it's going to be $50 per 100, so it's $150 a year.
Okay.
It's less than $13 a month.
Yeah.
$50 per $100,000 tax assessed value. It's actually a little bit less. It's $49.73, but again, easy math is $50. But that is the truth. Anything else that you're reading out there is simply a lie.
And so now, what would you say to someone who's kind of in that mindset of, well, Midland College is collecting money from tuition. They get all that money from the students that come. They don't need any more of my money.
Yeah. So something that I don't think a lot of people realize is dual credit is free in high school.
Oh, yeah.
For all students. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I have to say I benefited from dual
Same.
credit in high
Same.
school, and it was great for me, and I think it's great for a lot of people. Something else that people don't realize is that the state does not give community college funding for brick and mortar. So if we want to expand, if we want to renew, I mean, if we want to do anything with our campus as far as our structures go, we have to call for a general obligation bond. Now, four-year schools, universities, they do get state funding for brick and mortar. Unfortunately, our community college does not, which is why we're in the position that we're in right now. We haven't called for a bond since 2005. It's been 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Midland College has also been extremely financially prudent with our money. We understand taxpayer dollars. That's people's hard-earned money.
Yeah.
We're not disrespecting that. We want to do what's right with the money that's given to us. So of course, we are going to continue to be prudent. Anyone who is interested can look back on our financial history and see that we've always done what's right with taxpayer dollars. This bond will be no different.
Absolutely. And so why would, we kind of just touched on that it's older than 20 years old. And so some of those buildings just need some of that rebuilding and revitalizing. And so
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how would that kind of make you feel as a Midland College alum to see that come to fruition maybe?
Oh my gosh, it would bring my heart so much joy. I also, if I'm not on the campus, running, playing tennis, whatever, I drive by it multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And I get to see that pretty green grass and the flags, and at Christmas time, they have the reindeer, and it's just, that campus is, in my opinion, a gem in our community, and I would love to see it be brought back to life.
Yeah.
It's over 50 years old. I don't think people really realize it's an old campus, and it deserves some love. I honestly am excited by the opportunity to get to invest back in something that has invested so much in me.
Right. And so if the bond were to not pass, what would that mean for students, staff, for teachers? What would that mean for Midland College?
Well, Sydney, I don't really want to answer that question because
I
I don't even want to think about that.
I know.
Unfortunately, if the bond weren't to pass, we're going to continue turning students away. I mean, that's unfortunately the reality. We have a workforce that needs skilled and educated people that are ready to go. We have students who are willing to learn, and we're having to tell them no due to just facility limitations. It's the reality. It's a sad reality, but it's true.
Yeah.
We're turning students away because there's no more room. So unfortunately, we would have to continue doing that.
And so on the flip side of that coin, if the bond were to pass, what would that day one action item, what would start happening? What would the community members begin to see if the bond were to pass?
Yes, I do like that question.
Yes.
So in 2028, that would be our estimated completion.
Okay.
We would hope after a bond passes within the next 60 to 90 days, hopeful for 60, we would get started right away. And something that's really excited about that 2028 timeline is that it would be in perfect alignment with the MISD new schools.
Right,
so it would
right.
be really exciting for the students who are coming from MISD to have the opportunity to go to Midland College and experience these new facilities.
Absolutely, that would be awesome to see. So we're just about wrapping up for me. Are there any last mentions or final words that you'd like to give for the community to make sure they're voting this Saturday?
Yeah, so early voting is over. To be honest, it was not as great of a turnout as what I would have wanted. However, it is a better turnout than what we anticipated. So I'm very thankful to everyone who turned out to early vote, but you do have one more chance. Saturday, May 3rd is Election Day. Please, please get out and make your voice heard. I know it sounds cliche, but every vote truly counts.
Absolutely.
So please make it out to the polls on Saturday, May 3rd. There's going to be a ton of polling locations open. Please make your voice heard.
Absolutely.
It matters.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your
Yes,
time today.
thank you so much.
Absolutely a pleasure. And so just like Kelsey was saying, don't forget that May 3rd is Election Day, and we'll be posting full interviews like this one on other bonds happening in our community. You can find them on our website at newswest9.com, and they will also be available on our YouTube channel, our streaming service 9+, which is available to you on Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV+. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back next time.